What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our 2022 NFL predictions for the Kansas City Chiefs. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, with the 2022 NFL season officially getting started, we need to start looking at season predictions. And today we're going to be starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe that the Chiefs are in the midst of what could possibly be the best division, not only that football has to offer right now, but possibly of all time. And we'll get into it as we dive deeper into some of these teams and their predictions. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to take a look at what they did this offseason and go game by game and predict their season. So when you take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously big news, key losses. Tyreek Hill has to be talked about here, going to the Miami Dolphins in that trade. They got a lot of draft capital, and we'll go through that in just a sec. They did get Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Justin Reid as well. I think those are really big acquisitions for them. So overall, definitely a big change for them. Jarran Reed and Tyrann Mathieu no longer a part of this roster. When you take a look at their draft picks, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Sky Moore, they did really well with the draft, and I'm really excited for this Kansas City Chiefs football team. I think they've set themselves up to be able to compete longer than their window was with just Tyreek Hill, and I think we're going to get into that a little bit more here. But when we take a look at their schedule, it is definitely grueling for them at points, and I want you to go games 1 through 6 and kind of tell us a little bit about what the Chiefs have to deal with.
Yeah, well, going into week 1, the Kansas City Chiefs find themselves away on the road facing the Arizona Cardinals, who don't have DeAndre Hopkins. That's a big loss for Kyler Murray. They're going to have to get used to him and Hollywood Brown for the first 6 weeks of the season. And I think we're going to see the Kansas City Chiefs go into their bag of tricks and get this one out with a big victory. To me, the Kansas City Chiefs will just go back to the plays they know, work with the players that they've had for a while that have gotten them far, and they're going to get ahead of the Arizona Cardinals in week 1. Going into week 2, though, they're now back at home facing the Los Angeles Chargers, except this time the Chargers are not the same Chargers. They have overhauled this team through the offseason, and they are looking fierce. This is going to be tough for the Chiefs to handle, even at home, and I have the Los Angeles Chargers coming out on top in this week 2 matchup, with the Chiefs starting 1-1. Going into week 3, the Kansas City Chiefs are away again facing the Colts, and this is a new Colts team as well. This is Matt Ryan with Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor behind him, and it's going to be interesting to see how this team can get together. But once again, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, who have shown that they can come together. Travis Kelce, I believe that he will pick up the load that Tyreek Hill is leaving and get the Kansas City Chiefs past the Colts in this week 3 matchup. Moving into week 4, we see the Chiefs once again on the road facing the Buccaneers, and Tom Brady's still in the NFL playing for Tampa Bay. This is going to be a very turbulent game for the Kansas City Chiefs, even with the big additions that they've made this offseason. I don't think it's enough to get past Tom Brady and the Bucs, who have improved their roster themselves. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here, leaving the Kansas City Chiefs 2-2 after 4 weeks. Going to week 5, we see the Kansas City Chiefs at home facing the Raiders, divisional matchup, and with all the overhaul the Raiders have had, I think they're going to struggle going into Arrowhead Stadium. Going to week 6, we see another tough matchup. The Buffalo Bills are making their way into Kansas City looking for retribution, and this is going to be a tough game. Now without Tyreek Hill, I think that's what put them over the top in the first matchup. It's going to come back to bite them in the second one, and I have the Kansas City Chiefs losing this matchup with them 3-3 after the first 6 weeks.
In week 7, the Kansas City Chiefs will hit the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are still trying to figure out who will be under center for them. At this point, I would assume that it's going to be Trey Lance, but it could be Jimmy Garoppolo. Either way, it's not going to matter. The Kansas City Chiefs are a much more powerful team than the 49ers are. I believe that they will get this victory. So sitting at 4-3 heading into their week 8 bye. The Kansas City Chiefs get a little reprieve as they host the Tennessee Titans. And the one thing that the Kansas City Chiefs have struggled with their entire time under Andy Reid is stopping the run. And Derrick Henry is just an absolute man amongst boys. When he is out there, he is almost unstoppable. The Tennessee Titans are coming to Kansas City to absolutely demolish the Kansas City Chiefs. I fully expect the Titans to take this one. In week 10, there's a little bit of a reprieve as the Jacksonville Jaguars come to Kansas City. I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to kind of get their offense right, fix up their defense in this game. They're going to use this as a barometer to see what kind of team they are built to be. In week 11, they go on the road to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, the second of their matchups with this team. And while the Chargers may have gotten the better of them in the first matchup, the Los Angeles Chargers will fall to the Chiefs in week 11. I believe that the Chiefs have what it takes to compete in their division, and that starts with beating the best, and I believe the best is the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs are going to show that they are still around. They are still the team to beat, and that is going to take place. In week 12, they face yet another Los Angeles team, this time being the Los Angeles Rams. You can only take so much, and at this point, I think that the Los Angeles Rams will come in and absolutely steamroll the Kansas City Chiefs. They are not on equal playing field. I believe that the Los Angeles Rams not only retooled, but got better after winning the Super Bowl last year, and they are going to be looking to absolutely take over a team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a tough loss to have at home, but then when you look ahead to week 13, you see the Kansas City Chiefs are making their way to Cincinnati, facing the team that beat them in the playoffs last year, and the Bengals made some improvements themselves. It's going to be a tough matchup. Both these teams are at the top of their division most likely, and the Chiefs are fighting for a playoff spot. They got to bring it to them. At the end of the day, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs have anybody that will be able to stop Jamar Chase and Joey B. That is a connection that is too tight, that is going to be too tough to stop, and the Chiefs defense making improvements is just not there. And I have the Bengals taking this week 13 matchup. Going to week 14 at Denver, facing off against the Broncos for the first time this season, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to make a statement after back-to-back losses, and they do with a big victory at Mile High Stadium. Then going to week 15, even more of a reprieve, facing the Houston Texans in Houston. That is a very easy matchup. The Houston Texans are not even what they were last year, looking like one of the worst teams in the NFL this season. Getting a victory over the Houston Texans. They're on a hot streak with 2 in a row, looking to make it 3 in a row, making their way back home to Kansas City, facing the Seattle Seahawks, who, let's face it, don't have an answer at quarterback and won't be able to do much this season. Why would they have a shot against the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? That is just a combination that can't be stopped, and it won't be able to be stopped by Seattle. The Kansas City Chiefs make it 3 in a row, going into week 17 and really fighting for a playoff spot, looking to see if they can even win this division. They get to face the Denver Broncos for their second time in a few weeks, and this time they do it again, getting the victory over the Denver Broncos. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to get better and better over time. The rookies that they added are going to show up and show out when they are needed most, and Juju Smith-Schuster and MTS are definitely going to be ingrained into this offense, and one way or another, Andy Reid's going to find a way to move this ball down the field. I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are able to secure 4 in a row going into the final week of the season, where they face the Las Vegas Raiders, a very tough divisional opponent who has been playing stellar throughout the season, and these teams are both putting everything on the line here. I just don't think that the Kansas City Chiefs have what it takes to get past an almighty Las Vegas Raiders with Devontae Adams and Derek Carr playing lights out. It's going to be too much, and they're going to fall short of 5 in a row to end the season. But at 10-7, the Kansas City Chiefs have put together a very strong season without Tyreek Hill. Would be even possible with the moves that the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers have made in the offseason.
No, for sure. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs finishing 10-7 is not only likely, but it's most probable when you take a look at their matchups. They have one more home game than they do away, and I think that's going to benefit them a lot because people do not like playing in Arrowhead Stadium as a visiting team. It's just a very, very rough crowd to play in front of, and that helps the Chiefs significantly. The Raiders got better, the Chargers got better, even the Broncos got better, but even though the Broncos lose to the Chiefs twice here, I fully expect that the Chiefs will be competitive throughout their division for years to come. So I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of the Kansas City Chiefs schedule. Let us know what you think of our predictions for their season, and wait till the end of this series to see what happens come playoff time. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.